Lopez with Simone Sanders-Townsend and Michael Steele. Today, what is going on with Donald Trump's criminal cases? From delays in New York to rulings in South Florida and a major shakeup in Georgia, the timelines keep changing for the former president. Plus, President Biden taking his re-election message on the road. Swing state representatives Dan Kildee and Susan Wild are here as the president sells himself to the American people. And it's a week of chaos, again, at the Republican National Committee, previewing what's to come in a potential second Trump term. The chairman, he has many thoughts on that matter. Grab your coffee and settle in. Welcome to the weekend. As we come on the air this morning, the White House has a message for congressional Republicans. It's time to move on. That's what the White House counsel is now telling Speaker Mike Johnson in an unprecedented letter, calling for him to drop the impeachment inquiry into President Biden. And coincidentally, Biden's top critics may already be looking for off-ramps. Joining us now in D.C., staff writer for The Atlantic and MSNBC contributor McKay Coppins. And here with me, MSNBC political analyst and Democratic pollster Fernand Amandi. Welcome to you both.
Good to have all you guys here. So, McKay, how do we assess this? I think this very kind of different play by the White House to sort of push back up on the Speaker of the House and say, hey, can you guys settle down and start the nation's business? I want to pull up the quote from the counsel, Ed Sickle, a letter to Speaker Johnson. Quote, I write you today because it is clear the House Republican impeachment is over. The House majority ought to work with the president on our economy, national security, and other important priorities on behalf of the American people, not continue to waste time on political stunts like this. I loved it. It was sort of a redirectional kind of conversation to get everybody focused on the nation's business. What are you hearing on the Hill in response to the White House kind of push up against the Speaker?
Well, I think the White House smelled blood in the water, right? They saw that Republicans were losing their will to continue with this. And I mean, you talk to Republicans on the Hill, they know that this is over, right? And a lot of them knew it was a farce from the beginning, but they were going along with it. We'll see what we can dredge up. It was a fishing expedition, right? Mm-hmm. They wanted to hurt President Biden during an election year, but their star witness has fallen apart. To say
the least.
The impeachment crusade has fallen apart in pretty embarrassing fashion, and I think that's why you see people like Ken Buck just kind of, completely demoralized. By all accounts, the House conference especially is demoralized, embarrassed. You see Republicans rushing for the exits. They want to retire. They want to leave. And I think that the White House saw that, and that's why you saw that letter.
But they knew they had no evidence, Simone.
There was never any evidence whatsoever. Fernand, there was never any evidence. I am just hard pressed to believe that there was a strategy here. Speaker Mike Johnson now is not even Mike Johnson doesn't want to talk about impeachment. The New Republic, the headline is, even Mike Johnson doesn't want to talk about Biden impeachment anymore. And I mean, he did insist for more than a year that the president and his family were guilty of corruption. But after months and months and months of investigations, lots of our tax dollars wasted, now we're at the point where you got James Comer talking about, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, well, we really just need to make some criminal referrals to DOJ.
What does accountability look like? It looks like criminal referrals. It looks like referring people to the Department of Justice. And if Merrick Garland's Department of Justice won't take any potential criminal referrals seriously, then maybe the next president with a new attorney general will.
Fernand.
Listen, they're waiting, I think, for President Biden to wear the tan suit on Monday so that they can start the impeachment proceedings on the tan suit. Clearly, the criminal charges are not working. But look, this is nothing more than the political weaponization of impeachment. It's like an Oprah episode. Trump got impeached, and the Republicans say there were Democrats got to get impeached. I want an impeachment. He wants an impeachment. There is no standing here. This is eroding them in the polls. It's leading to the loss of the Republican majority, which if they continue on this track, I see Speaker Hakeem Jeffries taking the gavel very soon here. It's a political disaster, but they're here serving at the whims of Donald Trump, who is insisting that this impeachment inquiry continue. And if this one doesn't go, they're going to drum up another one, because the idea is to try and disqualify the president in the public's mind between now and November. That's what this is all about. There's no merit. There is no legal standing. There are no legitimate criminal charges. It's about trying to embarrass Joe Biden.
Agreed, and that is what it has always been about. And I wonder what you make of the jujitsu that the White House is doing, where they're saying, you're wasting our time, right? It's not just about the fact that you have abused the office you hold, that you have weaponized impeachment, that you've gone after this with absolutely no merit. It's also about the fact that, like, you should really be focused on the myriad issues, the affordability crisis, the housing crisis that's facing Americans. Do you think that lands?
Look, I think the White House tried to go about this in the proper way. They cooperated with all of the components of the impeachment, but now it's time to shift gears, Alicia. Yep. They need to call this for what it is. This is the Republicans who are unserious about governing or unserious about tackling the issues of America and playing politics with the most sacred of things in government, which is to impeach a president, and say enough is enough. Go on the offense here as opposed to being on the defense and be aggressive and bullish, because that's going to be what the Republicans are going to keep trying to do every single day between now and the election.